a long time. Just for the
It
benefit
has.
of this Zoom, I just want to introduce Drew properly. Drew is an IFBB Pro. Okay, he's the first IFBB Pro that I know personally. If it wasn't for this guy, right, my competing career wouldn't have. He started me off basically. All right, since 2015. I've known my guy since what is it 2009?
2009, yeah.
2009. So this is
Yeah.
in terms of competing. This is my first ever teacher.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's good to see you, buddy. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, number of things I wanted to. Thank you for jumping on first and foremost. Thank you for jumping on.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Right.
me, bro. Yeah.
Bodybuilding royalty. You understand? Right. So yeah. So yeah. How long have you been training for, Drew?
Wow. I've been training since I'd say around 23 years. 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah, 23 years. And then for competition, probably about 20 years. Yeah.
That's a long time.
It is. It is.
What made you get into bodybuilding specifically? What made you get into it?
Um, actually, it was a kind of a process, to be fair. When I got into training because at the time I was my marriage was falling apart, and I suspected that my partner was living a double life, for choice of better words, and for me to zone out and to not worry about it, I started to train. And I found that going to the gym took my mind away from my circumstances. And at the time, I was working in Sandwell in the Midlands, and I'd drop my son off at nursery, go to work, then I'd go to the gym at lunchtime. Then I'd pick my son up from nursery, take him home, and that's how my days were.
Right.
Eventually, we did separate and divorce, and I moved on. So I was in, and that I stayed in fitness. I stayed going to the gym. I kept going to the gym, and then I moved to London, and I decided I just wanted to do a competition. I started training in London. I thought to myself, let me do a competition, see how I fare. My partner at the time, she wasn't really interested in fitness and bodybuilding and stuff, and she was like a bit dubious. So she says to me, if you come lower than fourth place, knock it on the head. And so I did my first show and I came fourth, and so
Wow.
I carried on from there. Yeah.
Wow. So was this before I met you then?
This was no, it was after you met me.
Okay.
After you met me, and I think that, to be fair as well, it was meeting people like you in the gym, Jace.
Yeah.
Is it Ryan who does?
Ryan Carty, the
No,
singer.
not Ryan Carty. He does boys, boys, boys need dads or something like that.
Oh yeah. I know who you mean.
Yeah, him and a few other guys, and then
Ash.
Ash. They'd say, "Why don't you try competing?"
Mm.
And so I kind of did, and then I ended up wanting to do more. Yeah.
A long time, man. That's
Yeah.
so what. Just for the benefit of this Zoom, okay, because you're talking from a point of high accolades, well decorated, right? So can you just explain some of the things that you've achieved? I mean,
Um,
I don't think the Zoom's long enough, but just a few.
Let me just spin this round.
David, look at that. Look at that.
and then so I think at the amateur level,
Yeah.
I won everything. So 2016 was possibly my best year. I did a lot of shows. I made it to the British finals a couple times between 2013 and 2016, but 2016 was my breakout year. So I won the USN Classic in Birmingham. Then I won the Midlands Classic, and then I went on to win the British title in
Was it
Classic Physique.
UKBFF?
UKBFF,
UKBFF.
yeah. But it didn't give me a pro card when I won the British. It was only the next year they gave the guy a pro card, and they just refused to give me one.
So you won the British, and then the following year you won your pro card.
No, the following year, because after I won the British, there was a lot of politics going on with UKBFF,
Right.
and I went back the next year because they were saying that they're giving out pro cards, and I went on stage, and I felt I looked good. I was better than I was the year before. The guy who came first, they didn't compare me with him. They didn't call me out with him or anything like that. And I took third, and I was upset because I knew I looked good, and I felt that there was a bit of bias in the judging,
Right.
mainly on the fact that they never compared me with the first place guy, and I think that by that point there was a lot of politics going on in the UKBFF, and that's why they separated from the Americans. So in America, you've got the NPC,
Yep.
Which is the American version of the UKBFF.
Yep.
So it's all one federation, but because there was so much politics in the UK one, and people getting trophies who shouldn't be getting trophies because the judges were their trainers and stuff like that. It was all going pear-shaped. So I didn't get my pro card then. I did. I got my pro card 2019.
Right.
I did a Two Bros Pro show at the Amateur Olympia. But yeah, and that was interesting because 2016, when I did win the British title, I think one of the reasons why it was my breakout year is because my mum passed away. And when that happened, I kind of buried myself in training. All I was eating was protein, and I'd get to the gym 6 a.m, train, shower, go to work, then go back to the gym, train, shower, go home, sleep. And I'd be doing that every single day. Even on the weekends, I'd be going to the gym as well, twice a day. So by the time the British finals came round, I had no body fat. I couldn't walk barefoot on my feet.
That's madness.
No body fat. My glasses were dropping off my face. My shoes were too big. I just lost, but I was just pure muscle. And so, that was an interesting year. And then when I did win my pro card, this was 2019, I went for my pro card. The month before, I did a regional Two Bros Pro show.
Right.
So this was just a regional one. And I did the classic, and I came 7th in my category. I didn't even win the overall. It was a guy called Abu who won the category, sorry.
Right.
And then he went on to the finals, and he didn't win the finals, the British finals. And I was driving home with my friend, and I was thinking about doing another show, the Amateur Olympia.
Sorry,
but
what is it? The classic class? Was it the classic class, by the way?
Classic
class.
Classic physique, yeah.
Classic, was it classic tall? Did I have the different height criteria?
Yes, yeah.
Classic
So
tall.
I'm classic C.
Right.
So you've got a category A, B, C, and D in the amateur. So category C is around the 5'9" to just under 6 foot height,
Right.
and category D is 6 foot and over. So I placed seventh in my category. I didn't even win my category, never mind the overall. So I was a bit despondent, and I was driving home, and I thought to myself, my training hasn't changed a lot in years. I'm still training the same, but I did remember that the year that I did win the British title, my mum had passed away. So for the 4 weeks after that, I trained as though my mum had just passed away,
Right.
and in my head I was just focused. And that 4 weeks after that, I did the Amateur Olympia, and I won my category, and went on to place third in the overall and win my pro card. So it was that was just about change of mindset, you know. So
After winning, much like a strange question, but after winning the British and getting your pro card, did it help relieve any pain that you were feeling?
um, no, it didn't. It didn't. I think what I realized with pain is that it never goes away. But what I did find is, although my mum wasn't there, I found my mum in other people.
Right.
So your parent might have certain characteristics,
Hmm.
and so I could see those characteristics in my sister, for example, or people I work with,
Hmm.
and it's always I feel like I've always been blessed in that way. Um, like for example, when my son was born, my oldest sister, she passed away the day before my son was born, and I was working at in Wolverhampton, and I was working at a temporary job, and when my sister died and my son was born the next day, I had to take maternity leave and leave for grieving as well at the same time. I went back to my job, and they said that I've got like a couple of weeks. No, I couldn't go back to my job, so I had to find another job. And the job that I went to, I met someone who had the same name as my sister, and her birthday was the same day that my sister died.
You can't make this up.
And
You can't make this
it
up.
was it was a team of black women, and I swear each of them had some element of my sister. The team, the lady who led the team, her name was Danessa. She had the same organizational skills as my sister, because my sister was the oldest. I'm the youngest of seven. My sister was the oldest, so she was always the organizer.
Mm.
So this manager there, black lady, very kind, but very, determined and very good at organizing people and, delegating jobs to everybody. That my sister did that all the time, delegating jobs. You do this, you
Mm.
do that, you do that. And so I found myself in a position where I'm seeing whenever I have a bereavement, God is kind of showing me to find that person in other people. And it's weird. I always seem to find it. Always seem to find some attribute of the person. So when I did the 2016 and I was grieving for my mom, I kind of isolated myself. But then after the show, after the competition, I realized that I had to, interact with people. I had to find, you know, um, build relationships, and through that's how I felt the pain lifted.
Right.
Because if you hold the pain in and you just isolate yourself, it doesn't get better, it just gets worse, you know. So in order to get rid of pain, you have to be kind of service to other people, and learn to take in other people. Yeah,
That's powerful stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And you were bodybuilding throughout the whole of that duration of time.
Yeah, so from like when my sister died the day before my son was born, my fitness was my thing. Um, Initially, I was in music initially. To be fair, 2000 and it was probably 2009 that I kind of came out of music, and then I moved to London,
Mm.
and that's where I met you guys. And so fitness was my new um, everything. Before, before that, I was a musician. I was singing. I was in a group. We did the X Factor, and we did well in that. We supported Boys to Men, Neo, Donnell Jones, Montel Jordan, Genuine, Brian McKnight.
And it's mad how we're connected on a music level, on a music thing as well. Because before I was into fitness,
Yeah.
obviously there are varying levels here we're talking about. But before I was into music, I was in a signed band as well.
Wow.
I was in a signed band as well, all
Yeah.
of which know Joseph Ross.
Joseph Ross. Yeah. Yeah.
Joseph Ross. They've all played
Yeah.
with Joseph Ross on
Yeah.
tour, like Mark Morrison, and he's
Yeah.
Joseph CV. So the guys that I was
Yeah.
in the band with all know
Yeah.
Joseph
Wow.
as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've later found out that you went to school with him.
Well, I didn't go to school with him.
Right,
My ex-wife went to school with him, but I know him through the church circuit as well.
right.
So when I was doing music earlier on, so my music started from in church.
Same here.
So I'd sing in groups in church, and then I'd do a lot of solo stuff, play guitar, and I'd do gigs and stuff like that. So I'd go to gigs, and Joseph would be there. But he knew my wife at the time, and I think I got married. I was 25 when I got married, so I knew
What a small world.
it
So,
is.
so what are your plans on? I mean, you look as though you're not far off stage ready. Do you have any plans, or are you going to tell me that's your off season look, Drew?
Well, I've just started to get into prep.
Right.
So I've been documenting my prep since the beginning of this year. So January, I started to focus a little bit more. I started this thing on my Instagram called Real and Raw, Raw and Real, sorry.
Mhm.
And basically, I've just been holding myself accountable and just eating clean, training consistently. And I've recently introduced a little bit more cardio into my regime, and so the cardio is really helping. When I started at the beginning of January, I was 235.6 pounds, and I weighed myself today. I'm 225 pounds.
Right.
My stage weight is between 214 and 220, so I'm about 6 or 7 pounds off
You're not
stage.
far off, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. When is your show? What show is it?
Well, what I'm gonna have to do,
If you
I'm gonna
don't
have to
mind me
write.
asking,
No, no,
I'll
it's
keep it
fine.
on lock.
I have to write to the IFBB to find out if I can still apply, because each year you have to pay for a new pro card.
Right.
So what I have to do this year, because the last pro competition I did was 2023, and the new IFBB rules are that if you haven't competed in 2 years, you can't compete in a pro show. So I'm gonna have to write to them to find out if they'll, give me a blag or let me
But
compete
that's
still.
yeah, because I'm assuming you got the pro card before they introduced that rule, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they must let that pass then.
I'll
Surely.
have to see. Hopefully they'll be gracious, because they're quite nice like that. I've had conversations with the IFB head office before, and they're really good people. So hopefully they'll
Would you enter the classic category open, or would you do a different category now?
Wow, yeah, I think I'll probably still try and enter the open, but at the same time I'm 50, so I could do the masters and the masters of the masters. Because
Yeah.
I think masters is 40, and I'm 50, so I could go for that. So I think what I'd really like to do is to do the Masters Olympia. I'd really like to do that. If I can't do IFBB, then I'll do PCA and just take it from there. Yeah, because PCA is getting big now, and they're a reputable um, federation. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the PCA, would they take into account that you're IFBB Pro? Because isn't that an amateur organisation, PCA, unless they give you a pro card themselves.
Um, I think I'd have to just go through the same channels as everybody else. I'd have to win like a regional and then
Right.
go through the finals and so on. But I don't think I don't think federations acknowledge each other federation's achievements. You have to just make your own in
Work
theirs.
your way through it, yeah. Right. So with your experience, I mean, think about it. You've told me you've been through a divorce. You've told me you've been through bereavement.
Mm-hmm.
You've won a British title. You've got an IFBB Pro card.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost 50.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a lot of experience, and that's obviously scratching the surface.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge to give. What would you say to the younger guys in bodybuilding now that want to, compete and earn a pro card themselves? What advice would you give on life and on training, possibly? I know
I'd
it's a
say,
vast question, but
yeah, I'd say that if I could do it again, I would focus on my dreams and making money from my dreams, because bodybuilding is not for everyone. I do think that you do have to have some you have to have good genetics to be a decent bodybuilder. There's not much money in bodybuilding. It's only like the top 1% who are actually making any money from bodybuilding. So I'd say to someone coming up, follow your dreams and focus on making your dreams your career. Because especially in the black community, growing up, if I wasn't a minister or a doctor or something like that, black people didn't think that I was actually doing anything worthwhile with my life,
mm, mm,
and luckily I started doing care work. I've always done care work. Initially, I started care work, then into residential children's home, and then eventually I've become a care manager, a children's home manager. So I've got the qualification. So I've always had that as my purpose.
right.
So I do see that you have a passion and a purpose.
Yep.
Sometimes your purpose and your passion can be the same thing. It's like
Yep.
David Beckham. His passion is football, but you can see that his purpose in life was to be a footballer and inspire people.
Yeah.
I feel that my purpose has always been care and working with young people in the community and helping young people in the community. And if the wins that I've had in that, if they were trophies, I feel I'd be Mr. Olympia. But so that isn't my purpose. My passion has been bodybuilding. My passion has been music, and they are things that I use as tools. And so I'd say to young people coming up, make sure you know what your passion is and what your purpose is, and follow that. So yeah.
Also, yeah, because you've been bodybuilding for over 20 years, what are the major differences you've noticed, if any, between when you were training in your 20s and 30s to now approaching 50? What a significant change that stand out to you?
What, within bodybuilding or for me personally?
For you personally, like for example, when you were training in your 30s,
Yeah.
what are the major differences that you've noticed training in your 30s to your 50s, if any?
Um, I think I know my body a lot better now. So like in the early days, I'd go to the gym and I'd try and do bench press because everybody else was doing bench press.
Mm,
And I've realized that bench press just don't work for me, you know.
mm, mm.
And I've found other means to develop my chest and work on my chest without doing bench press. Um, and sometimes I'll go to the gym and I won't lift a dumbbell. I'll just do machines because that day I know that my body will respond better to machines. Then other days I'll go to the gym and I know that my body's going to respond better to dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the maturity that has grown from training for me has been to understand my body and to be able to walk into the gym and know what I can and can't do. And I've never initially, I think I used to write down my workouts, but now I can go to the gym and I know automatically what I've lifted the last time on that machine. I know what I've lifted last time on that machine. I know that because I did it at the beginning of my workout, I was stronger then.
Yeah,
So I know that if I did that at the end of my workout, I'll probably be weaker. So I shouldn't get upset if I don't hit a PR,
yeah,
and it's just that understanding of the machines and how my body works and how my body reacts and what nutrition works best for me before I go to the gym or what I shouldn't have before or what I should have. So I think what I have learned is I've traded knowledge for physicality. So in the sense that when I was younger, I just had raw strength.
mm,
So I could just go in the gym and do anything.
mm.
But now I know that my knowledge will tell me what I can and can't do, but I will still get the same outcome as when I was younger because I'm doing it more proficiently now.
Gotcha,
So, yeah.
gotcha. So in closing, thanks a lot for jumping on,
No
and
problem.
hopefully we'll see each other in person sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Do you know when the shows are, or are you still figuring that out?
I believe there's a PCA in April. I'm not sure of the two pro shows because if I am able to compete as a IFBB, it will be the two pro shows.
Right.
Um, and that will probably be later on in the year. But what I'm going to do first of all is just get myself into shape, see how I look and how I feel, and then just jump into as many shows as I can. One of the things that I didn't mention is September before last. One of the reasons I haven't competed is I had a hernia operation, 2024.
Right.
So I tore my bicep here. So it's just been a healing process, really, just trying to heal and then be in the mindset and my body ready to do that again. So I think I'm ready. I'm ready for the 2-a-day sessions.
Wicked, wicked.
So yeah,
Drew, blessings. Thanks for the words of wisdom and the insight and into some of the experiences you've had. And I know that there's some gems there for people to take, including myself. All right. Blessings. We'll
cheers,
chat
bro.
soon. All right.
Speak to you
Blessings.
soon.
Nice one. Bye
Take care.
bye.